So, yes, the spice is when you say exactly how you want to smash the summon. Okay, so we've recently been very absorbed in 2 games, and we came up with a weird subject of discussion that we thought would be funny.
I like how I just came up with it one day and thought, oh yeah, why not?
Yeah. So, the year is 2004. The 5th Holy Grail War has started in Fuyuki. But instead of actually participating in the Grail War, everybody involved has become obsessed with the new MMO sensation, World of Warcraft.
Yes, which came out in 2004.
Came out in 2004, earlier in that year. And so the kind of idea we had is, what would everybody play what would everybody from Fate Stay Night play if they were going to play World of Warcraft? The Grail Orgy. I'm gonna grab myself a drink.
Let me just grab them.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna wait for Mr. Boyfriend to get back. So yeah. This is just a little silly stream today because I'm taking a break until Lost Belt 6 comes around. And next week I'm going to be starting Lost Belt 6 and doing a bit of a challenge run.
Yeah, you guys might not know this, but Babylon Knight was really enjoying WoW.
Yeah, those of you who watch my other channel, I'm currently obsessed with World of Warcraft because my boyfriend wanted to play WoW with me.
We play a couple, an undead warlock and his big cow druid wife.
Yes, it's very fun. So these are the races that were available in World of Warcraft back in 2004 when it was first released.
Okay.
We had the dwarves,
yeah,
the gnomes,
yeah,
the humans, and the night elves.
Yeah, on the Alliance.
This is the Alliance team, and these are the Horde. It's the Orc, the Tauren, the Trolls, and the Forsaken.
Yeah, or Undead.
The Undead.
Yes. So we're gonna basically go through each character saying what race and class we think they play.
What race and class, which alignment, but also for some of them just the type of World of Warcraft player that they would be.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. And maybe we'll talk about if they play extra things as well, because that's, that's something you can do.
Okay.
So, okay. We're starting to talk about top. Yeah. Alliance.
Okay. Yeah, I can't see her wanting to play any of the Horde races.
I mean, look at the symbol for Alliance.
Exactly, I think she'd see that and be like, I'm gonna be on the Lion team.
Would she, do you think she'd register that Arthas is based on her?
Maybe?
Arthas is like a strange, retelling of Arthur, but like the story like gone wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what if instead of becoming the greatest king of the land, it like became like the like exact opposite, like it became a monster that destroyed the land.
Okay.
That's kind of what Arthas is.
Yes. He's the Lich King, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yes. Haven't played Wrath of the Lich King, I've only played vanilla.
Yeah, I'd like to get you to play Warcraft 3 sometime, so you can, because there's a lot of WoW stuff that you would get better if you
okay.
But
Warcraft. What would Artoria play? What race and what class would she play?
So the question is,
does she
play something like herself?
I'll show off what the classes are for people that don't know. You can be a druid, you can be a mage, you can be a paladin, but only if you're on the Alliance.
Yep.
You can be a priest,
yep,
a hunter, a rogue, a warlock. If you're in the Horde, you can be a shaman, and you can be a warrior.
So I think she plays paladin.
Okay.
Which means that kind of pins it down to just either human or dwarf. I think she's more likely to be human.
Yeah.
I think this is the thing is I think she actually is likely to play herself.
Yeah, that kind of seems like a good idea. World of Sabercraft, yes.
Yeah, I think she plays a paladin, and I think she kind of role plays it. You know.
Yeah.
I think she's into it. Pretending to be the holy knight, which she is in real life.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I can do what I normally do, except in this, like, fantasy world.
Yeah, I think that's the kind of person she is. Yeah, it's a bit basic, but I think that's what she would do.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I can't see her being, like, daring enough to want to play something a bit different.
That is something outside the box. Possibly she'd maybe want to play something that she isn't like. But I think her main, at least starting character, the first thing she would start playing would be like a human paladin. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, pretty simple.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next character we had was
Lancer.
Ku. So what did we think Ku would be?
I don't know if we discussed this that much. I'd be inclined to think that he'd play Horde.
Yeah?
But I don't know, do you?
No, I get that vibe.
Yeah. I don't know, because you think he'd probably vibe more with the faction that, like, value honor and strength over, like, nobility and duty, you know, that kind of thing.
It's like, yeah, I could see that.
I mean, he kind of values duty, but I think he more values glory.
Mm-hmm.
So
I could say whatever his like main class would be, he would max out the fishing profession.
yes, you would, but you can do that with any class, so it doesn't. Yeah.
But that's the thing. What like class and what race?
I was honestly, I don't know. I think maybe once again, if we're going with that kind of thought process.
He can't be a dog because the Worgen were not playable in
Oh,
vanilla.
wait, no, surely he plays an orc.
Okay.
Because of the Frostwolf clan.
Oh, so
And
yeah.
you can ride a giant wolf. Yeah. You think he maybe even plays an orc hunter with a pet wolf?
See, that is something I could see him doing. Like, he just plays hunter.
That's right, you missed it.
Plays hunter, has lots of dogs.
Yeah. It seems like that would be his vibe. Yeah. He also is a big game hunter in his myth and stuff. He's constantly hunting animals and bringing home trophies for them and taming lots of them. So yeah, it's
like he could just run around, tame all the animals, and do lots of fishing.
Yeah, I think that's what he'd probably do.
Okay.
Yeah. So next one is
Emir. We've not discussed this one much.
No, we haven't. So okay. My thought is that he wouldn't really care about playing Horde Alliance per se, but I think he'd play Horde just so that he can be against Shiru.
Yeah, so he can be on the opposite faction, so he can just PvP Shiru.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah. With that in mind, does he play a certain character that's going to be especially good at griefing Shiru?
I don't know.
Or like PvPing Shiru. So if Shiru's playing, we were talking about Shiru playing like a human warrior, right?
Yeah.
So therefore, does he play a mage? Because mage is a very, very good counter to warrior. Like, you think about warriors, basically, really, everything they do is in melee combat. Whereas mage, they can, like, freeze you in place and then blast you from far away. And it can really just make you ineffective.
Yeah. Because maybe he'd also want to play mage, so he could sort of live out his fantasy of, oh, I finally got to become a good mage.
Yeah. So, maybe he plays... That means he plays either troll or undead.
Yeah.
Does he maybe not, he's not the kind of guy who would care about RP, would he?
Yeah, I can't imagine him caring too much about RP, just like, I'm gonna play mage character, get into combat with this one guy I don't like,
So my thought is maybe he plays Forsaken just because it's a bit more meta.
Yeah.
It's like probably a bit more meta to play Forsaken as a mage, get higher in typically, and also you get, you know, the Will of the Forsaken, which is good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Just goes for the meta choice so he can fuck up Shiro.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought. Yeah, he just wants to piss off Shiro. That's my thought. Yeah.
Probably also maxes out fishing just to compete with Ku.
Yeah, could see it.
Okay, so next we have Fujini. Now, would she play a druid so she can turn into the tiger, or would she play a hunter so she can tame the tigers? And have just like as many pets as you can, but they're all the big cats.
Either way, she probably plays a night elf so she can have a tiger mount.
Oh yeah.
You can have like a lion, not a lion. It's like a panther, giant tiger mount thing. So, yeah, night elf.
Okay. Just to do where's the night elf?
You could still get it as other
She's a
alliance
teacher
races.
that might inform your decision.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, being a druid is a better like support class than being a hunter. And she's always thinking about other people, right? So that maybe that.
Yeah.
The fact that she can also fulfill any role in a pinch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe she favors playing a druid.
So she can turn into... Because the night elf, you turn into a panther, don't you, when you get your cat form?
Yeah.
So we think maybe pretty night elf lady play a druid so she can become cat. Gets to level 40 so she can ride her pet tiger around.
Yeah, that's kind of what I might have thought. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe, like, helps out Shiro when needed. Although I think Fujini is the kind of player who wouldn't be very good at the game, but would have a lot of fun.
Yeah, and she'd be kind of helpful all the same because she would just be going out of her way to be helpful.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, Gilgamesh.
Yeah, okay,
Right.
Gilgamesh.
Didn't we say probably Alliance? I can't see him liking any of the Horde races.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think he would kind of... I think he'd appreciate the Horde's overall values more.
Yeah.
But I think he would consider them to be kind of... I don't know, lesser.
It's like Gill plays video games in Carnival Phantasm, so I guess there was some premise for him liking video games.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you think he probably just plays human because maybe he sees everything that isn't a human as lesser.
Yeah. I can say he'd be the kind of player who gets to level 60 and PvPs the other level 60s.
Yeah. Yeah, he'd go heavy in PvP, but he wouldn't be like a ganker. He would see that kind of shit as really like beneath him.
Yeah. Yeah, just like killing a level 20 is pathetic. I'm gonna go kill a level 60.
Keeping that in mind.
But what class? Like,
do you think he maybe would select class a little bit based on it being decent at PvP?
It's like, yeah, maybe. So I was thinking warrior or paladin or something.
Well, paladin is better at PvP than warrior is. Which would be kind of hilarious if, like, both Artoria and Gilgamesh choose the exact same thing for completely different reasons.
Yeah, so he absolutely keeps trying to trade things to her character.
Yes.
And she doesn't understand, like, who is this guy and why is he trying to give me, like, lots of gold and health potions and sends me creepy messages.
The only thing is... Well, the thing is, Paladin's only good at PvP because of their ability to, like, make themselves invulnerable for a while.
Yeah.
Warrior has some niche things, but yeah. I don't know. The thing is, Warrior is really better at PvE. They're better at, like, fighting all the raids and the dungeons and stuff. They're not really great in PvP. So I don't know. I don't think he'd play a rogue because he sees it's too underhand.
Like, a rogue is like the character that you. Rogue is the class you play if you want to be shitty.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of think he plays Paladin.
Yeah. Yes, a paladin's also like quite sought after for things like raids and dungeons.
They buff. They can like buff. They have these powerful buffs.
Yeah.
That basically you won on everyone in the dungeon raid.
Mhm.
So yeah, if you think about it, like shamans and paladins are both wanted in raids for different reasons, but also they're unique to each faction, so the other faction doesn't get them.
Also, do you think Gill will be the kind of guy who pays somebody real money to get him gold in WoW?
Maybe, because maybe he just doesn't see it, like he doesn't care.
Like, I want the best gear, but I can't be bothered to grind it myself.
Maybe he sees the grinding as beneath him as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, he's kind of like he is the lord of the world and stuff, and therefore it's only right that he receives everything that's the best in the game or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, he probably would not play with Curie as well.
I love that he's so small.
Yeah. We're trying to get everything to fit consistently, so...
Okay.
So I was gonna say, maybe Forsaken Rogue.
I mean, that's like the obvious answer, right?
That's the thing, I feel that Hassan would only play to tag along with Zokan. And gank people together.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, he is kind of just playing himself there.
Yeah.
But that is what that would do. I mean,
That's what I'm
probably.
thinking. It's like, he seems to want to be the best Hassan.
Yeah, that is kind of his whole thing, right? So maybe he'd just try to be like the most infamous best rogue on the server.
Yeah.
He'd be in contest with Kira. Yeah, simple, straightforward, I guess. Moving on.
Okay, Heracles.
So I think the Heracles is definitely going to be determined by what Ilia plays.
What Ilia plays, yes. I think that whatever Ilia plays, Herc is going to have to be like the big, like tanky warrior, so that when Ilia is, getting ganked by too many mobs, he can come in and punch everything for her.
So I was saying that I think that she would want to play something that is like an adult woman.
Yeah.
Because that she would like to be that, right?
Yeah.
And she probably would still like to be like powerful and have like a powerful minion.
Yes.
But I think if she has Herc being her powerful minion, then if I was going off, she was playing by herself, then she'd be playing a Warlock.
Yeah.
But she's not, so she's playing a mage. I think she plays a human mage.
So that would mean Herc has to be Alliance?
So I think Herc would play a human warrior to be her minion.
Is Human Warrior like the best, like, aggressive tanky thing on the Alliance side?
I think, well, you could be a paladin as well, but I think it's just that if you have a warrior and a mage working together, it's just a very good all-round thing. So I think it just makes sense.
Okay.
Doesn't mean we kind of determined what Ilia is already. So
well, we've already got to Ilia, so...
So yeah, I think she plays a human.
I think she plays Human Mage.
Yeah.
You can pretend I'm a pretty grown-up woman.
Yeah, pretty much.
And very good at magic. And then just like, Heracles has to play with her so she can actually do quests.
Yeah, he's just like tanking everything and she's blowing them up. Blowing all the enemies up. Yeah, that's what I imagine happens, yeah.
He has to save her from, like, PvP. Okay, Issei.
Issei,
Dude, he probably does have a lot of time to spend playing video games.
He probably...
I mean, he doesn't like women, so he probably is the kind of perfect WoW player. Everyone knows WoW players do not have girlfriends.
Do you think that he wouldn't be big on video games? I mean, I don't really know. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you...
That's the thing. I assume that if he played, he would probably play with Shiro.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Do you think even Shiro like got him into it?
Yeah, it always kind of feels like Shiro plays the game and it's like, hey, Issei, come play this game with me.
Do you think Issei probably plays a human?
It's like, yeah.
I think he's just very straight-laced, you know?
But yeah, I gotta say, Monk is not a playable
It's not a playable class in
Classic WoW.
So, yeah, I think maybe he'd play that if it was available, but
yeah.
Since Shiro's playing a warrior, I imagine he does choose to play something else.
Yeah.
The question is what? I'm not really. If he plays human, that does narrow it down a bit.
Yeah.
Perhaps he plays a priest.
Okay. Is a priest quite supportive?
It is, generally, unless you play Shadow Priest, but I don't think he'd play Shadow Priest.
Yeah.
Maybe he'd kind of take on, like, see priest almost as like an equivalent
The monk.
to kind of a dutiful, you know, monastery attending person.
Yeah.
You
sort
know,
of probably like, plays with Shiro and is maybe the supportive one to Shiro.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's what I imagine.
Yes.
That's actually an interesting. You've got a paladin, a warrior, and a priest all working together, and also he likes Saber, so
Yeah.
those three are like a little.
Okay.
Group.
The fucking worst type of World of Warcraft player.
Okay, so Curie we've spoken about a little bit, and I think we have discussed that he probably has 2 accounts.
Yes. So Curie is the worst type of WoW player because he just likes to gank people.
So
he has 2 accounts. He has an Alliance account.
And I think it's got to be a gnome.
Gnome rogue, because he gets his character to level 60 explicitly so that he can gank the low level players.
He goes to areas where the players are like level 20 and kills them.
Yeah.
As a gnome.
Hides in the field and stabs you, and then when you resurrect, he is camping by your body to kill you again.
Yeah.
Because it is funny. So yeah, you're getting ganked multiple times by a little gnome rogue called Mappo Tofu Man or something equally as stupid, just to make it more annoying when he ganks you.
Yeah, that's what I imagine he does. But I imagine he also has another account.
Because he loves ganking so much.
He wants to gank the other side as well, yeah. So he plays, I imagine, an undead warlock.
Okay.
Just so he can gank people in different ways.
Yes.
So I'm imagining he's doing things like he's doing it to his own horde buddies on ships and things.
He's the guy who was going to
fearing them right off of the.
He's going to challenge you to a duel on the Zeppelin and make you jump off the back.
Ollie might be speaking from experience here. Tried to warn him.
But also maybe tries to PvP higher level characters in a more fun and enraging way.
Yes. I think that at if you're a similar level to a warlock, a lot of the time the warlock will win because they have many tools to kind of control you and slowly destroy your health over time.
Yeah. Probably is rogue. Sorry, his warlock is probably called something like the Executor.
Also, if you keep in mind things like Healthstone, but also Soulstone, and also later on Spellstone, they've got lots and lots of ways to just mitigate damage and just not die.
Yeah.
It's like that annoying enemy that just keeps coming back at you. It's like, oh, you killed me. Oh, look at that, Soulstone, I'm back alive. And then just, corruption again. Curse of Agony again.
Yeah.
And it's just oh, and then 2 seconds later, oh, you're dead. And then they start eating you. And then, he eats the body, yeah. So, yeah.
It's the fun shit you can do as a Forsaken Warlock.
This is the answer, is that basically Curie plays 2 different things in order to piss people off as much as possible.
Yeah. Okay, Kazuki.
Yeah,
Now, I think he only plays when his wife is playing.
A little weird suggestion here. What if Kazuki and Tiger play together?
Oh, okay, they're
It's like-
both teachers.
It's like the teacher off time. They like school's finished and they've got like an hour before they go home or something.
Yeah. Like, do you want to play World of Warcraft on the school computer?
But then I imagine Madea plays with them too.
Yeah.
But keeping all that in mind, I think he plays Alliance.
Okay.
I don't think it for any particular reason. I don't think he really like cares.
Yeah.
But I think he plays Alliance just so he can play with the other people that are around him.
Yeah. So are we thinking Madea would be Alliance?
I'm thinking she would.
Okay.
I think she would look at the Horde character options and be like, there's nothing like. I think she would like to be an attractive woman character.
Yeah.
And I don't think she'd be too happy with the options in Horde. So
Your Horde options for attractive woman are the Troll and the Forsaken, unless you're like me and you really want to be the cow.
I mean, even then, it's like the Forsaken she's got skeleton parts.
Yeah,
and
you're all skelly.
yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
Okay, so like, what would he play? What class and what race? So he's limited to human, dwarf, gnome, or night elf.
Yeah.
Maybe he'd play like, what is the most basic combination?
The most basic combination is like human warrior, but I don't think he'd do that.
Yeah.
I actually think he'd play a night elf rogue.
Okay.
I think he'd play rogue because, well, I mean, he spent all of his training and everything was to be an assassin.
Yeah.
But basically, rogues have an ability called assassinate.
Yeah.
And there's this whole, isn't there this thing he did with poisons and stuff?
Something like that. I know he was like part of this assassin.
There's a whole
Gill.
poison aspect of the rogue class.
Yeah.
And I think he played Night Elf. It's hard for me to kind of quite describe why I think that.
Maybe just like, oh, I can be all these fantasy creatures. I'll be that one.
I guess it's not really that. It's more like is it weird to say? I think he just would vibe with it.
Yeah.
The Night Elves are kind of like it doesn't come up that much in if you play Horde, but if you play Alliance, you'll find out that they're like really insular and protect their forest and their land and stuff. And he came from this like commune, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's a kind of weird vibe there.
Maybe a bit of a, this guy has pointy ears like my wife.
Maybe, yeah, that's an aspect of it.
Hi, Jaguar fan.
Yeah.
We're talking about fake characters playing World of Warcraft.
Yeah. At least that's what I think.
Was Jaguar was a pass, I'm afraid.
Oh, which one was Jaguar?
Fujini.
Oh.
Fujini in the tiger costume, and then Fujini with the boobs.
I'm sorry if you dig that. I don't.
Okay, so we think that's what he would play.
Yeah, I think so. I think Madea is a totally different story in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay, so Kazuki and Madea.
Oh well.
Right after.
So I think she played mage.
Okay, Alliance. Sorry, not no, but Alliance.
At least I think. I don't know. Do you think
Maybe?
she could play like? I could see her playing Warlock.
Yeah.
Well.
Yudiko would play anything as long as it has gacha. Well, it's World of Warcraft. There's no gacha in World of Warcraft.
Well, yeah, not really. I don't know.
Unless, like, loot drops counts as gacha?
Do you think that she would see Warlock as... Because Warlocks basically get their power from deals with demons and stuff. Would she see that as kind of, like, lesser compared to just, you know, studying magic and becoming more powerful like that? I don't know if, like... She's quite pure on her magical abilities.
Yeah, it's
so...
like, but then again, it is a video game, so maybe she would like the idea of being able to control a little minion.
Yeah, well, she does do that, doesn't she? In the actual Stay Night, she produces herself. She's summoned a minion.
These little skeletons.
Yeah, not just that, but she also summoned an actual servant
Sasaki.
for herself. Yeah, Sasaki. So, I don't know. Do you think? Yeah, I don't. Maybe
like,
Warlock.
Yeah, maybe Warlock. But what race?
Well,
would that mean?
like I was saying, that I think she plays something pretty.
Yeah.
Her options are basically, if she wants to play mage or warlock, she's got to either be a human or a gnome.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Do you think she'd play tiny little gnome lady?
I don't know. It's like
I think if she, it depends on whether she would play tiny little gnome lady or not. If
Yeah.
She, I don't know.
I don't know. It's like maybe just standard human warlock.
Yeah, I don't see why she would play a gnome really. So, yeah, probably a human warlock. Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. Right. Who's after Madea? It's Medusa. Like she named the minion Jason and said after things way too strong, so it dies constantly. Well, you can't actually name the. You can't name your demons.
No, but it is pretty typical to let your demon die so that you live.
Yeah.
But in fact, there's one of the demons you can actually sacrifice for a special ability. So, yeah.
Okay.
Actually, later on, if you get high in demonology, you can sacrifice all of your minions for special abilities. So
maybe she would just in her head nickname the demon Jason.
yeah. Medusa.
Okay, so what would Medusa play? So we think that she might be one who has two characters, one so she can play with Sakura and one so she can play on her own.
Yeah, okay, we'll just answer the question of, I think, what she'd play if she was by herself.
Okay.
So, I think if she was by herself, I don't think she'd play a character like herself.
Yeah.
Oh, she'd definitely play a gnome.
Okay.
Think about it. She hates that she's tall.
Oh yeah, she can be very small and cute as a gnome.
She wants to be a tiny, cute little gnome girl, right? And then, I don't know. After that, does she play, like...
It's like, what class would she be?
Well, what's available? She play a warrior, rogue, priest, mage, or warlock. Maybe mage? Or rogue? I feel like mage or rogue.
Yeah.
I mean, rogue is more like what she is.
Yeah. It's like, would she find it more fun to be sneaky, or would she find it more fun to be able to do magic?
Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking mage. Mage just because it's kind of powerful and
Yeah.
blasty things and stuff. Yeah? Although, then again, would she play a priest because priest's cute?
Can you be a gnome priest?
Wait, can you be a priest? I thought you played a priest.
Do you want to look that up?
Look.
Take your phone. Because that's the thing with World of Warcraft, is that some of the classes are limited to certain races.
Classic WoW.
Yeah.
Wait, I don't think I have a photo of it.
There's like somebody who would play a gnome not because they're annoying, but because they think it's cute.
Yeah, pretty much.
Unlike Curie, who plays a gnome just because he knows it pisses people off the most.
Yeah. I thought we had a photo. I'm gonna look this up.
Yeah.
No. No Magan. No. Let's have a look.
Yeah.
Oh, it's only 4. They only have Mage, Rogue, and Warlock and Warrior.
Okay, so it is limited to Rogue or Mage that we think should be.
Yeah, so maybe Mage because it is cuter than Rogue.
It's like, yeah, you can get yourself some cute, pretty like robes.
Yeah. Do you think that? Do you think Mage looks cuter than Rogue does?
Yeah, I feel like Mage you could probably make Mage look cuter than Rogue.
I think Rogue is closer to what she actually is, but she
Yeah.
doesn't like what she is, kind of. It's
Yeah.
a bit sad. So
like,
yeah.
maybe enjoys the fantasy if I can be cute and I can be like pretty.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if she was playing with Sakura, now that's a different story.
Okay.
So Sakura.
Yeah.
Now that I actually think about it, Sakura cares about how she looks, right? And
Yeah.
she cares about how she cares about being appreciated, probably by Shiro, right? So
Yeah.
she probably wants to play with Shiro. She probably
Yeah.
plays Lions. So that makes Medusa also Alliance. But maybe Sakura plays. Fuck me. I'm like,
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. It's like I feel like Medusa probably, when she's playing with Sakura, plays whatever Sakura like needs that helps Sakura.
I think I had this idea of Sakura actually playing the gnome mage herself.
Okay.
Which makes it kind of funny because at that point I think that Medusa would be playing like a dwarf. Paladin even.
Okay.
Basically to act as a supportive role for Sakura.
Yeah. It'd also be like a character that doesn't look as nice as Sakura's character.
Yes.
At least
she even
in
probably
her
plays
mind.
a male dwarf paladin.
Yeah.
Yeah. To just act as like a support for Sakura, not only in the game but also socially.
Yeah. So it's like, Sakura's the one who gets like the attention from players wanting to give her things and stuff like that.
Yes.
Okay.
It's pretty weird because that's basically the exact opposite of what she is. But yeah, that's what I think of now. Alright.
Okay.
My wife.
Rin.
So, okay, Rin. So I actually had a thought that maybe she would see this whole thing as a bit more of a game than some of the others,
Yeah.
and not be as invested.
She's not very good with technology.
That is true.
So I can't see her being somebody who plays this game a lot.
The thing is, I was seeing her being good at it because she's good at magic, but
Yeah.
then, as you point out, she's bad at technology. So
it feels like maybe she would play something that's very easy to play.
yeah, which I still thought she'd play a mage.
Yeah. So we think mage?
Yeah, that's for like maybe she'd try to play with like Shiru and Sakura, so she plays Alliance and she plays like a human.
Okay.
I feel like if we're going off like she's bad at technology, so she doesn't play very much and she doesn't really get it, then that's I think what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bit disappointing in my mind, but you are right. She's like bad at tech, so
Yeah, it's still somebody who, like, if she was good at technology, she'd probably be very good at playing video games.
yeah.
But because she's not, then she'd probably...
There's quite a few human mages.
Yeah.
And mages just in general. Yeah.
Right, Sakura.
So as we said, I think gnome mage
Okay.
or possibly human mage.
Okay.
Either way, I think she'd want to be a cute little female character that does his magic. Yeah, and I think we went over this when we were talking about Medusa. So yeah.
Okay. Sasaki.
Okay, so Sasaki's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Is he kind of forced to play with like Madea and Kazuki?
So that's what I'm thinking. Is like, does Madea force him to play with her? He does spend a lot of time just on his own.
I think
So he is somebody who could probably no-life this game a lot.
I think if it was up to him,
Yeah.
I think he'd play Horde.
Yeah, so if he played on his own...
But I don't think he gets that choice. So I think he...
Or I don't know, maybe he's like sometimes plays on his own and sometimes plays with Kazuki and Madea.
No, I'm imagining that they're like, you can't use the computer without when we're not here.
Yeah.
So no, I'm imagining
Okay.
that he plays
So
Alliance.
what would he play if he played on his own, and then, like,
Okay.
what do you think he'd be forced to play?
I think if he played on his own, I think he would maybe play like a Horde warrior.
Okay.
As for which one, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure about which
Okay.
race. I think he just would vibe with the one I think is the most obvious is Orc, but I really could see him playing any.
Yeah.
I think he just would vibe more. Maybe not Forsaken. I think he'd vibe more with Orc, Troll, and Foreign. Just being the honor, the honor aspect of the Horde.
Yeah.
I think he'd very much value that. I think he'd very much value honorable PvP between two similar level characters.
Yeah.
It's a little bit similar to Gill in that sense.
Yeah, maybe they fight each other a lot, not knowing who the other one is.
Yeah, yeah. But I think he'd actually be like, well, yeah, I think he'd probably be forced to play Alliance and be like, what, like a human priest? It's just like...
It's like, what is... Yeah, I'm trying to think what we said that the other two would be. We said that Kazuki would be the Night Elf Rogue, Madea would be the human mage.
Yeah. And then
So would being the human priest be like a niche they don't have?
Or you could play the... To be fair, you could play the warrior, because that way he can tank for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or the paladin. But I think he'd probably... I think he'd want to play a warrior, so I think that they'd push him into that role.
Yeah.
He'd be the better tank, so they'd probably want him to do that. But maybe he wouldn't be too unhappy with that.
Yeah, so it's like, we need a tank. It's like, okay, fine, I'll be the tank. But what about paladins? He could be the tank and the healer.
Yeah, but he's not going to be as good of a tank. But then he, like you say, he is a healer, so he also fulfills that role, which maybe Madea wants him to be both a tank and a healer. So, yeah, it's warrior or paladin.
Warrior or paladin.
Yeah, I think that's what would happen. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Shinji Mato.
Okay, so this fucker plays an undead mage.
Yes.
And he sucks at the game.
Yeah.
He never uses Will of the Forsaken because he doesn't know it exists. He always misses Frost Nova because he does it just before the enemy is actually in range of it. He never uses Polymorph, or if he does it when the enemy is at melee range and it's too fucking late.
Yeah.
He's bad at the game. That's what I'm getting at here. He's like,
tries to PvP but gets destroyed every time.
Yes. He's like, he plays Undead Mage because it's meta, but he's bad. He's like looked up what the meta is, but he's bad at the game. Yeah. That's what I think happens. Yeah.
He also probably is very reluctant to group up with people, so he dies a lot on his own and gets mad at the game.
He tries to do Mage Pulse, where basically he pulls lots of mobs at the same time, Frost Novas them, and then Blizzards them. But he sucks, so he just fucks it up and it gets killed all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Shiro.
A human warrior.
Yeah, he'd be the best.
Or he plays human paladin.
Human warrior or human paladin, yeah.
Definitely human. I could see him being either a human warrior or paladin.
I guess. What about the warrior? Because that's like more sought after for things like dungeons and raids.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to think like that.
Yeah.
He's going to think, what do I want to be in this world? I think he wants to be, the hero of justice, right?
Yeah.
So in that sense, it'd be paladin, right?
Okay.
But then again, there's another little element here. What if he plays mage because he wants to be a talented magus?
Yeah, it's like there are so many things, but then again, like a warrior can use swords.
No, paladins can too.
Paladins and warriors can also use swords, and he loves swords, so maybe he'd be getting all the best swords at the game.
I think you can get swords earlier as a warrior. I think you start off with swords as a human warrior.
Yeah.
Whereas I think you'd have to learn swords as a paladin. So there's that. But I think he'd vibe more with what paladins are.
Yeah.
I think you could say warrior or paladin, and I'd agree with either, but I'm leaning towards paladin.
Yeah. Because he'd be the good type of WoW player. Like, he gets himself to a high level and then helps out the newer players who are getting ganked.
Yeah.
He probably fights Curie a lot.
Gives them mega buffs that paladins can give. Hangs out and just kills Curie. He can also, the fact that he can bubble himself means that Curie will have a very hard time killing him.
Yeah.
You haven't seen that, really, have
I don't think I've seen that. I think I've seen,
Well, this is the thing, paladins, right? Paladin players don't tend to engage in ganking.
Yeah.
Because they tend to be people who want to be heroes, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, so... Zokan. Yeah,
definitely
he plays... I think he plays... I don't know if he cares, actually, that much about which team he's on, really.
I was saying, I think he'd probably play with Hassan. He'd make Hassan play with him.
Yeah.
And he'd play something on the Horde side, and
I think the fact that if Hassan is an undead as well, it makes them both undead.
So maybe
plays
he
a
would
Forsaken.
be... Forsaken.
And I think he'd maybe see absolutely no qualms in being like, oh, I summon demons and shit for power, so I think he'd play a Warlock.
Might go, Forsaken Warlock, with Hassan being the Forsaken Rogue, and together they do just fuck up
together,
low-level players.
Like, a Rogue and a Warlock are a really fucking dangerous PvP combo.
Yeah.
They will just annihilate most other... If there's another 2 players fighting them, that undead, like 2 undead, Warlock and Rogue is very hard to beat.
Yeah, they cause problems for everybody.
Yeah.
Especially as like Shiro, when everybody seems like they would play Alliance.
Yeah, he'd be just... Do you think they'd team up with Curie sometimes?
It's like, maybe...
But then also Curie...
Not knowing who they were, team up with Curie.
But sometimes Curie would be playing a gnome rogue and just try and gank them, but kind of lose, because he's versing another rogue and another warlock. So yeah, I don't know.
So we have been reading Hollow Ataraxia, so we did include a few characters from that.
Yeah, Angry Mango.
Right, Angry Mango. Definitely a griefer.
Yes. But he's different, a little different to Curie. So Curie, right, sees what he's doing as bad, as evil.
Yeah.
But he is like, he finds that he loves it.
Yeah.
He knows that it's bad objectively, but he does it anyway.
He's like, yes, I'm pissing off people who are new to the game, but it is funny.
So Angry Mango, right, would see it as good. He would see causing the suffering of others as good. That's what I've taken from the way he talks about morality and things, right? But in effect, I don't think it makes much of a difference. I think he'd play probably a Horde Rogue.
Okay. So, Horde Rogue?
Just wants to cause as much suffering as possible, so I think he plays Horde Rogue.
So, and what race as well?
That's the thing. I don't think he would select for meta.
Yeah. So he can't be a Tauren because they can't be rogues. Meaning that his options are like Forsaken, Orc, and Troll?
The meta choice would be Forsaken, but I don't think he would choose for meta.
Yeah.
But then again, he has this whole thing about the sins of humanity, right?
Yeah.
In a sense, the undead in the Forsaken kind of almost represent that in WoW.
Yeah.
So maybe he chooses for that. He chooses that for like RP reasons.
Mm-hmm. Just be a little dead thing for on. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's.
I can see that being a thing.
Yeah, I mean that's what he would do. Imagine if though, what if does he play with Bizet?
I don't know. Maybe he plays when Bizet is like not there. And then we go Bizet, right? What does Bizet play?
It's kind of weird to think that during the events of Hollow Ataraxia, rather than Bizet doing her mission, she sits down and plays WoW. It just seems bizarre.
Yeah.
But if this happened, I do imagine her playing Horde.
You think Horde? Okay.
Think about the fact that Ku is Horde.
Yeah. So she might play... she was originally trying to summon Ku, so it's like, yeah, maybe she would.
Weirdly... She's got like these niche abilities, and she's kind of like strong in a surprising way.
Are you thinking Shaman?
Yes.
Okay. So that limits her to Orc or Tauren.
Which, yeah, I don't know. I could see her playing either of those.
Yeah.
I think she'd just value the strength. Tauren is probably better for... Tauren has more health.
Okay.
Orc would be more attack, more aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm imagining also not just Shaman, but I'm imagining her playing an enhancement Shaman.
Okay.
With probably an Orc wielding big two-handed axe because she loves the idea of basically she does this special thing that the enhancement shaman does where she hits and she crits, and the crit causes her to get another hit suddenly, which also crits and gets another hit, and suddenly you've suddenly been hit by the shaman like 5 times in a second, and you just die.
Okay.
So, yeah, I imagine that, but also then I imagine she's forcing Angramanu to play with her.
Yeah.
I don't think she'd make Angramanu play anything in particular, though.
Yeah.
So,
I think she just wanted him to play like the game with her, so she had someone to help her out.
I like the idea that she's not really going out of her way to do PvP. No, wait, she does.
Yeah.
She's all about PvP.
Mhm.
But here's the combo, right? Now, the thing about that ability, the Enhancement Shaman, right?
Yeah.
They don't have much in the way of, closing the distance with a ranged character.
Yeah.
Angramanu uses his ability to stun the target, and this target is stunned for 20 seconds.
While Bizet just comes
Bizet
up and one
walks
hits.
up and just wallop and they're dead.
Yeah. that seems about right. Now, Karen. Yes, Karen.
Karen. Yeah, Karen. Do you think Karen plays Horde so that she can oppose the majority of the people in the game? The other people in the town?
It's like, yeah, maybe.
The thought was that she'd play like a Shadow Priest.
Yes.
Like, would she play the Shadow Priest and just be a PvP monster against
Shiro and everybody?
Yeah.
What horde classes can be a priest then?
Undead definitely, and trolls.
Okay.
I think she'd play undead though.
Yeah.
Then again, I'm wondering about. Might she also play Warlock? Because the whole demon aspect.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm feeling. It would definitely be something involving religion or.
But maybe she
something.
wouldn't, because her whole thing is the active job of destroying demons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I'm gonna say, does priest count to the warlock?
Kinda. Yes, Shadow Priest does.
Okay.
Because Shadow Priest has loads of resistance against shadow damage, which is the majority of Warlock's damage.
Okay, so yeah, Shadow Priest.
Like, they can do fire damage as well, but the majority of their spells are shadow. So, yes, they kind of counter. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And then finally we have Kid Gill.
Oh, yeah. So what do we say about Gill?
So we said that adult Gill probably plays human Paladin. Or human Paladin to be a level 60 character and PvP other level 60s. But I don't think that Kid Gill would be that, selfish. Kid Gill, as we see, does seem to be more of a team player.
The weird thing is you could still play a Paladin and be like that.
Yeah. But I also kind of feel like Kid Gill might be more inclined to play something fun.
He might be more inclined to play something that isn't like himself.
Yeah.
I could see a justification for all sorts of things here on that basis,
Do
though.
you think he'd go Alliance, or do you think he'd go Horde?
Like, if we're thinking like that, maybe he's more likely to play Horde. Hell, maybe he's more likely to play Tauron. And, you know what I mean?
Yeah, kind of like, oh, the cow looks fun.
And maybe he plays something a bit strange, like a shaman. Or, I don't know, I could still see him just playing a warrior. Or a hunter, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, I could see him, if he's playing something just for fun. I'm saying Tauron because I'm seeing him go, oh yeah, I want to be a big bull man, that's kind of cool. Wait, also, isn't there a whole thing about Gill and the bull?
Plays a character called Gugalana.
Yeah, right?
He's a big Tauren warrior.
right? Yeah, so maybe, yeah. Although maybe he doesn't choose warrior because it's kind of basic. Maybe he chooses hunter because it's a bit more to him.
Maybe it's kind of fun. I do think hunter is a very fun class to play.
Yeah, that is kind of my thought. And maybe he also, if we're basing this on that memory of killing the Bull of Heaven, right?
Yeah.
Then maybe he associates it with being like a hunter, and you know what I mean?
His little pet, whatever it is, just called Enkidu.
Yeah. I don't think you can actually have... There's no, like, bulls in WoW.
No.
But it would be kind of strange if there were.
Yeah, it would be kind of weird if there were, like, feral cows and then anthropomorphic cow people.
Yeah.
You'd have the question of, well, what's the difference between the cow and the Tauren?
Well, you'd wonder about the connection, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Though there are wolves, and there are also Worgen.
Yeah.
But then there's an explanation for that.
Yeah. Worgen are like werewolves, aren't they?
Kind of, but they come from druids that fucked up.
Okay.
You know, like the druids of the Fang that are all serpent druids? They're similar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I think we're about done here.
Yeah,